Hi everyone, it's Karen here. Welcome to another day in our 24 days of tags for 2022. And today I've got something very traditional for you. Holly leaves, berries on a very green background. So we're going to cut the leaves out. I'm going to show you how to create your own template. And then you can use any bits of cord or twine. Instead of the beads, you could use bells, little lights. Look, I found these in my stash. So any of those would be really quite fun on this. I did think about putting sentiments on it, and I thought, you know what, I really like it just as it is. So the greens that we're going to be using, I'm going to be using Distress Oxides. I've got Twisted Citron, Cracked Pistachio. We're going to put that in the background. And then we're going to go through a variety of greens. Rustic Wilderness, which is quite dark, Mowed Lawn, a little lighter, and then Forest Moss, which is much darker. So you'll see how we'll use all of those in a minute. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create our holly leaves. And for that, you're just going to get a piece of copy paper, just normal copy paper, fold it in half. And then you're going to cut a little rectangle, which is 2.5 centimetres wide by 6.5 centimetres long. Now, if you want to just freeform your leaves, go for it. But I do know there are a lot of people that would like a template, so that's why I'm showing it to you in detail. So you want 2.5 centimetres across, 6.5 centimetres down. Okay, it's folded over. Then going to take your ruler and a pencil, and we're going to measure 1.5 centimetres down from the top and 4.5 centimetres down from the top. So just make a little mark there. Then what you're going to do is take your scissors and just create a little curve from this mark to the end, from this mark to the end, and then you're going to join them up in the middle. I try to keep my scissors moving in one movement, and that's what you've got. Now, that's a bit flat, so I'm going to fold it over and create a bit more of a curve. And this one's a bit fat too, so I'm going to create a bit more of a curve in that one. There you go, I quite like that. You can put it that way if you like. Okay, so you're just going to play around with it. Those are the dimensions. There you have it. And then you're going to get, actually we'll do the background first. You want 2 little pieces of card for our 2 leaves. And we're just going to do the background first so it can dry while we're making the rest of the leaves. So for our tag, you can use any greens you like. This is a really fun technique, and your blending doesn't have to be super even. So I'm going to start with Mowed Lawn. I'm going to put a bit of Twisted Citron in it and a bit of Cracked Pistachio. So I'm going to use my blending smoothies. And like I said, you don't have to be too careful with this blending. Because we're going to create some texture on it in the background. Now you're literally just going to play with these 3 colours. So I'm going to come in with a bit of Cracked Pistachio here. Put a bit on the corner, a bit in the middle. And then I'm going to come in with, what's the other one I haven't used? Twisted Citron yet. That's a bit more of a luminous green. So you're just going to play around with your greens till you've got some interest in your background. Oh, it's not very well blended in, is it? As I said, it doesn't have to be that well blended, but you don't want a blob like I had there. There we go. Yeah, I'm quite liking that now. I just like to put these all away. And you know what? I'm really anal. I've got these little labels which I just printed off the Tim Holtz website. So I stack all my Distress Oxides like that. And I do like to have the lids in line with my labels. So now we're going to take a stencil. You want a nice variegated background for the stencil. You don't want the holes to be too big. So for this one, I'm using a Lavinia Featherleaf stencil. I'm going to take my water and I'm just going to spritz the top of the stencil, just like that. And I'm going to dab the excess off. And I'm going to lay it face down onto my tag so that the water is trapped in between the stencil and the tag. And what you're going to get is this lovely variegated background there. And the more it dries, the darker and more pronounced it will become. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. You can use your heat gun if you wish. But because we've got some other things to do, I'll just let that dry on its own. You can see already how some of that texture is coming to the forefront. Okay, back to our little holly leaves. So I've got 2 pieces of card and my holly template. No, my holly leaf template, that is. Right, and we're now just going to create some variegation on the leaves. So for that, I used, again, 2 Lavinia stencils. I've got Pebble and I've got Glory. And what I did for those was ever so simple. Just lay that down. Actually, for this one, I took Rustic Wilderness. Let's make sure I pick up my right sponge. And I'm just going to go all over the piece of card. Like that. And then this one, I'm going to take a different stencil and I'm going to take Mowed Lawn and I'm going to put some colour down there. So this one's a bit lighter. And then for this one, I just decided to, once I've done my stenciling, just lightly put a bit of colour behind that stenciling. So it's not a stark white. Didn't mind on the other one because it was a bit fuller. Whereas this one, yeah, I like that. Okay, and I always like to clean my stencils and my mat straight away because you never know when you just want to pick it up. So there we have our 2 pieces of card, stenciled background, and now we're just going to use our template that we created and just cut our little leaves out. So I've done the other one, and now what we're going to do is just go around the edge and darken the edges a bit with a slightly darker colour than the one that you used for for your stenciling. Okay, so there we've got our 2 leaves. One slightly darker than the other, and that's what you want. You want a bit of interest and variety here. Now, we're going to be bold, and we are just going to create a little line down the centre of our holly leaves. And I try to do this. I'm using a Sharpie. You can use a pen, a bit of a paintbrush, whatever you like. And I'm just going to start 2/3 of the way down in one line from there, that way. As always, please feel free to improvise with whatever supplies you've got or make up your own. So, yes, I quite like this. You know what? I'm going to do it this way. Okay, and now I've got a bit of red cord. I'm just going to loop it. So we're going to create a loop there. I haven't cut enough. That doesn't usually happen. I'll use that for the top. So you're going to hold your cord like that. Create a loop both sides. I'm going to bring this down a bit. And loop it again, just like that. And because this is cord, as I pick it up, it's going to flop, so that's good. Then I just picked a tiny piece of gold thread. You can use the same ribbon if you like, or a white cord twine would look really nice. And I'm just going to pinch this center, and I'm just going to tie it there. So I've got these lovely, big, fluffy, floppy loops. So you can see as you pick it up, they flop down really lovely. So I probably should use my proper scissors. These are floristry scissors that I've had for more than 20 years. So I use them for all sorts of hardy projects. Whereas actually I want something sharp here, so I'll just snip these edges. There we go. I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to lay my little petals down like this and my little bow on top like that. Then I'm going to find my beads. These were bits of holly berries. That's why I always had these to hand, because there's wire at the bottom of these berries. So I'm happy that that's what it's going to look like. And as I've said in previous videos, I don't like to glue anything down until I'm happy with the composition. So that's what I'm going to do. Glue this one down first because it goes on the bottom. And I'm just gluing the top of it like that. I'm not going to do it too close to the punched hole because I want my ribbon that I've threaded it through to shine through as well. There we go. And now I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of glue there so that I can pop my ribbon at the top of it. And then a big blob of glue for my little beads or my holly berries, actually. I'm just going to pop those in like that. Wait for them to dry for a few seconds, and then I will pop my cord along the top. And there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love to see your makes, so please pop them in my group, which is Karen Telfer Craft Creative Community on Facebook. And I'll be back again with you tomorrow. Bye for now.